Hey, I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And we're the Rambling Reviewers.
And today we're looking at Legend of Korra, Book 2, Episodes 11 and 12. Nearing the end here.
Part of our continuing Korra coverage, man.
Yeah,
How do you
keep forgetting that.
This?
Alright, so you've actually seen the finale already. You're
Yeah,
trying to
so
keep your mouth shut about that until I go and see it.
I got plenty to complain about as is.
So, alright. Yeah, where do we start? Night of 1,000 Stars was mainly about the attempt on the president's life in Republic City.
Okay, here's how things are going.
Yeah.
Mako's been put into jail because Varric set him up. Or,
Varric did so. I know. I honestly,
set him
I
up.
thought we were gonna do something more complex and interesting, and it was just like, oh wait, Varric is the bad guy. Never. Okay,
but actually, it doesn't start out that way.
Yeah.
It starts out with the first look at the resistance movement since the
yeah.
beginning of the show. Dear God.
I noticed
the 8-man resistance movement against several thousand guys. Oh, yes. This is going to be just like the Battle of Helm's Deep. Oh, wait, that nearly ended in tragedy if Gandalf hadn't shown up on his stupid white horse.
Well, gee, I mean, even the Helm's Deep has so much more different about it when you had, like, you know, defended positions and so forth. Then
Yeah, it's
let's
just
just
like
rush in with 8 guys.
It's just like Helm's Deep, except without strategy and without intelligence or
Without a
forethought.
fort or without any. I noticed, if I counted correctly, they upgraded the 8 guys to 10 guys.
Oh, joy.
I was like, yay, that.
They increased their forces by 25%.
I know, and they seem to just...
Ooh.
And they were like, you know, should we wait for Korra to provide, you know, more support?
We've been waiting the entire season. She's not coming.
Well, yeah, it was like, well, we have to go in now. And again, we brought this up before, why does it have to be now? There is no urgency. There is no sense that the South is suffering and we need to fix something.
Okay, Battlestar Galactica. We saw the whole new Caprica arc of the show was a much better done version of this. We saw exactly how the people were suffering under Cylon rule. We saw how all the preparations that the much better prepared but still ragtag defense fleet that had fled at the start of the battle was doing to try to liberate the entire colony.
They were planning sort of their own little D-Day.
We saw mass executions going on. We saw even the bad guys were suffering from it. They were almost always at each other's throats. At one point, we see a human doctor operating on a Cylon to try to save his life.
Yeah.
Here, what we saw of the South is, let's see...
They don't have a Ferris wheel anymore.
No!
I think that's the key problem, honestly, is everyone is really bummed out about that Ferris wheel.
Yeah, we're not really getting... we don't see any changes at all.
We don't. I mean, you saw, like, okay, so Unalaq takes over and, you know, has a show trial against Korra's dad, but you didn't feel the populace in general was suffering, and after Korra's dad escapes, you're like, I guess, is everyone okay?
It's like a mayor changing.
Yeah.
It's like someone elected a new mayor, and no one really cared one way or the other.
I mean,
and then suddenly the resistance movement is like, okay, we got 10 guys against several thousand. Wolverines! Except it's less Wolverines and more Leroy Jenkins.
I bet you somebody has made that video already. If they haven't, they should.
Yes, they should. So yeah, they go down, and predictably, they get totally wiped out in seconds.
And I'm watching this, and particularly when we get to the second episode, and we're in the spirit world for a bit, a second of these two, you know, I'm looking at all the good choreography and thinking, man, if you just had good writing to go with this.
I know!
Because it is still unfailingly good whenever they do the bending, you know. I like the showdown as far as martial arts was concerned between Unalaq and Korra's dad.
Exactly.
It's just, you know, why did Korra's dad have to attack today? And what, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, because we forgot about him.
I thought he was going to die for a second. For a moment, it was all cool because he was frozen. And then Unalaq punches him like he's going to shatter it. And I was like, oh, God, did we just shatter Korra?
I know. That was like, oh, my God. I forgot.
Yeah.
This is Nickelodeon.
I mean,
unless someone commits murder-suicide, it's not allowed.
Right, unless someone... That's just it, though. If you're going to do murder-suicide, like, I don't want to...
Heck, you know what would be great? Just cut away at the last moment. Don't show the execution.
Right, yeah. If you showed it, it'd be too gruesome. But I could totally see, like,
and then, like, have
come back later, and there's just this pile of ice, you know, and it's all creepy, and we're like, oh, God.
Yeah, and then, like, you could have Korra, like, totally losing control and just going after Unalaq, and that would just be awesome.
That would make sense, because Korra has this whole thing of being a badass, and she accesses the Avatar state easily, right?
Right.
That should totally be a story element where she goes nuts at some point and does, you know, accidentally harms innocent people in the midst of the Avatar state.
That was one of the plot points of The Last Airbender, that Aang couldn't enter the Avatar state without going into Berserker mode.
Right.
Just have Korra go into Berserker mode.
Korra could do it even worse. That would be like the whole evil plot is to make her do it at the wrong time, you know? Like, someone's psychologically manipulating her behind the sscenes type of thing. That could be great.
Yeah.
That could be...
but anyways,
so they get...
but away from the plot that is supposed to be mildly important, and back into Bolin's movie is premiering.
I know, and you're like, isn't there a war? Like, imagine
Isn't there a war going on?
Imagine if it had a show about like the French resistance in World War II, and they got this, you know, they're gonna go on this mission to go kill some general before D-Day or whatever, and then we cut to some guy in New York who's hosting a premiere of his new movie, and you're like, I thought we were dealing with the war. You know, and I get it's Bolin, he's one of our characters, but wouldn't it have been great if he'd been more involved from the get-go?
Yeah.
You know, if I get it, it's supposed to be a propaganda thing to help the South, but it's vague and not accomplishing anything.
And furthermore, the propaganda is lame.
Yeah,
it tries to make Unalaq out to look like, I won't say Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom has too much class.
Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah. I mean, he has a skull-shaped fortress.
Right.
I would love to know who designs that. Who just says, you know what this fortress needs?
More skulls. And we've met that guy in Man of Steel.
Man of Steel in the Last Airbender movie.
Right? That's true.
But you know, what... You know, I'm convinced people don't realize I'm totally and completely evil. See, the thing is, no one ever really considers themselves the villain.
Right.
Unless they're, like, over-the-top villains, and Avatar does not have over-the-top villains.
No. I mean, Ozai was conquering the world, but he still had, you know, a realism about him.
Yes. Heck, oh, jeez. Aman. He was still realistic.
Even though it didn't make sense in the end, but for the while there, it seemed to, you know,
yeah, but he wasn't over the top.
That's true, yeah.
Most of his stuff was reasonable.
And let's be great. Let's make this clear that the actual Unalaq does not live in a skull fortress. And I was gonna say, I can understand if the idea is here that they've
skull fortress.
They've just invented movies. I could see within the narrative it makes sense that the movies are just super cliche because, like, whatever, we haven't thought of anything better yet. But more to the point is just it's not related to anything. It'll be interesting.
Quick question.
Oh, good, yeah.
Why is Nuktuk in the movie? I mean, he's hero of the South. You look at the Southern Water Tribe, like in the last series and in the current series.
Yeah.
Their standard way of clothing is like bundled up to the nines.
Yeah.
So why does he have just a vest on?
Rule of cool, man.
Okay,
Rule of cool.
Okay, yes, I get that. It's just, you know, if you want to make a propaganda piece, you have to have some accuracy.
I don't know, really. Propaganda can go nuts sometimes if people are willing to take it. Yeah.
Like, there was that Superman slap a Jap thing back during World War II.
Something like that, yeah.
No, that was literally the wording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Superman says, slap a Jap, buy war bonds.
Crap. Yeah, that's not...
Yeah, we
really
prefer
sorry
not to
for all the internment camp peoples. And not that I'm sorry we beat the Axis, but the anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we ever had Superman saying slap a jab.
Slap a jab.
I mean, that just seems such a...
Slap an imperialist, that makes more sense.
No, it doesn't really rhyme.
It doesn't rhyme, though, that's a problem, yeah. It's everyone's problem, they keep rhyming all the time. Alright, so...
yeah, and then it's revealed that those incompetent cops are incompetent.
I know, I was totally thought that was a setup, and I was like, oh, I guess they're not, which I guess would be cool if that was also part of a larger plot of, oh, something I didn't expect that's interesting, as opposed to just, oh, never mind, shrug type of feeling.
Why did it take Chief Bang Fong this long to...
Yeah, why does she have incompetent cops on staff?
But let's get to that later.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bolin is warned by Mako that, oh yeah, Varric's going to try something and stuff, but he doesn't believe him, and so eventually he goes for a walk.
And Bolin does not seem too upset that his brother's in jail.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, he did do a thing at the end where he said, I'm going to get you the best lawyer I can get you. But it wasn't like, oh no, it was like, well, looks like you're in jail. And I was like, Bolin, you're not supposed to be that much of a dick. I get that you have a big head.
Or, you know, is there something about Mako that, like, he's been in jail so often that this is just like, yep, you're back again. Well, and they saved your old self for you.
It's true, they were.
Oh, see, there's where you carved your name.
He was on Triple Threats before, wasn't he?
Awesome.
In the backstory,
he was.
So that can make some sense. But, yeah, this would have been a nice moment, because, I mean, later on he says, oh, I wish Mako was here. But it would have been a nice moment for him to realize, oh, crap, my brother has landed in jail, and, like, I wasn't there for him or something. I've done wrong, Mako. I'm sorry.
But nope, that's not Bolin's character.
Didn't quite exact happen.
He never really gets character development.
He had like that little bit, like with Asami, he's like looking out in the ocean. But then it just immediately went to, oh, and now someone's attacking, and Bolin saves the day, and not like Bolin and Mako team up save the day. It was
this was actually impressive fight choreography.
Yeah.
I mostly expect Bolin to be the comic relief where he gets his ass kicked just to show how powerful things are.
Yeah.
Except not in a Worf way, kind of a...
Because Worf was cool, yeah.
Yeah.
The butt monkey almost, yeah.
Yeah, but here he actually showed off actual fighting prowess. Which
he did. It's just weird.
Came kind of out of left field, though.
It was a little out of left. I mean, because I was thinking to myself, okay, I mean, he is on the the pro bending team. He knows some stuff.
Yeah, but it showed he sucked there too.
But
remember the first episode of the season where he lost in like it was like a record for how fast they lost.
It's true, and he had 2 other people on his team even.
Yeah.
So that was weird. I also thought it was really weird. These guys like pop out of nowhere and they attack the president, and Bolin saves them, and then we wind up on the stage where everyone can see us, and we fight. And
they fight. No
idea what it's from even. And then he says to the last guy, who is behind all this? The guy goes, Varric!
Oh yeah, you're real good at keeping secrets, dumbass.
I mean,
I thought Mercs had like some sort of thing where you don't mention to the guys who are beating the tar out of you who you sent you, or to mention the false name.
You just make something up. Yeah, how about the Northern Water Tribe sent us? I thought we were trying to frame them, right? Wouldn't it be very easy to say that? It's not like Bolin's got mind-reading abilities and he would know if you're lying.
But yeah,
it was so obvious that I thought for sure it was a lie. Like, aha! Clearly it must not be Varric because the guy just wouldn't say it that way and the writers just wouldn't write it that way. No, they did. It's the writers didn't have any other means of communicating this information. So suddenly it was, oh, he just says it out loud. Go. It's a little bit like when Korra threatened that judge. Like, and suddenly, the information you need to know. Which made some sense in that context, but, it feels kind of lazy, writing-wise.
Really? Lazy writing in Legend of Korra? What a shock. I am amazed.
So then, suddenly, Varric goes to jail. I did like that he had a swanky jail cell. That was in the Varric.
That's very, very in character for him.
And Julie's in there with him.
Oh, but first Korra shows up and she's like, hey guys, what's going on? I got my memory back. I'm kissing Mako, despite the fact that we broke up.
Yeah.
And then Mako just proves himself a scumbag. He's like, yeah, here, I'm going to stick up for my new girlfriend, Asami, except I'm not. And I'm just going to keep treating her like shit. At this point, Asami, your best hope is to go lesbian.
I think there are other guys out there besides Mako, but yeah.
Yeah, good point.
So
Bolin is preferable to Mako.
Let's go over that briefly. He was with Asami in the first season, and then he was with Korra without really breaking up with Asami, and then Korra broke up with him, and then he was sort of with Asami again, and now Korra lost her memory, and now he's just sort of all of a sudden together with Korra again, and... why are we kicking this can around here? Like, what's going on
here? No one
here?
cares anymore.
And the very idea that
and by no one, I mean me. Me, I don't care.
Yeah.
At all. Like, seriously.
She
kill them off, I don't care.
The idea that Korra gets all her memory back except that one moment required to, jumpstart this plot line was silly. If there's going to be a longer-term memory loss thing, make a big deal out of that. She forgot this thing. She forgot that thing. She's struggling. She's character development.
Heck, have her forget all about Mako and Bolin, because those are fairly recent sets of memories.
That could be a thing. I don't know.
Have her remember a good portions of her bending training, but not that.
Yeah. So yeah, it felt like they're just, we need to have conflict with some characters. Here's one, ding.
Yeah, it's not like there's a harmonic convergence or something.
There's something else going on here.
This honestly is like if Fire Lord Ozai is preparing to glass the world, and they're having an argument over which is better, Zutara or Katang.
Something like that. So Varric tells them.
I actually helped you guys. Bolin, I made you a mover star. Asami, I saved future industries. Korra, I helped the South. Mako, I put you in jail. Oh, no, wait, that's a bad thing. No, really, I'm in favor of him being in jail, Varric, so you're still a good guy in my book.
I refresh my memory. Didn't Varric arrange to steal all of Asami's stuff in the first place?
She also brought that up.
Right, okay, so she did bring... Never mind then.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
yeah, oh...
So, yeah, I don't like having Varric as a villain, though. He was a neat guy, and I don't get...
He's like Tony Stark.
Yeah, I don't want Tony Stark to be a villain either. It doesn't feel right to me,
Yeah, Tony Stark's cool.
Yeah, and they can be cool villains, but I don't know. I gotta get them more specifically why I don't like that. But anyway,
anyways, Chief Beifong says... Congratulations, Mako, you're back on the detective force. Wow, no paperwork or anything, or, having to check with the board of directors about putting a convicted felon onto the ranks. Well, there's no more detective slots. Oh, that's because you two are fired.
Yeah, wait, did they even actually prove that Mako was innocent? I mean, just because Varric's guilty doesn't mean Mako wasn't working with the triplets.
I didn't think of that.
I don't even entirely know what's going on, because, they didn't the evidence was planted type of thing. It was just, Varric's guilty, so, clearly. Yeah.
Jeez, I mean, why were those two hired anyway? And they say, Mako's one of my best detectives. Then why didn't you believe him earlier? Why were those two even on the payroll if they were so fucking incompetent? Then why didn't you believe Mako when he said all this stuff earlier if he's one of your most trusted detectives?
I mean, I could get that at that moment when they had false evidence planted against him, but then you think they'd follow up with.
But even before that, she was kind of
before that,
and what makes him one of the best detectives? Thus far,
Since when does he detect hardly anything? Yeah, he did figure out
most of what he did is he figured out Varric, and then he got his ass thrown in jail, and his brother was the one who actually got hard evidence on it.
The figuring out Varric would be cool if it had been a interesting leap of logic that he used to get there. If he pulled a Sherlock Holmes here, instead it was, there's this bomb made by Varric's company, therefore Varric himself must be personally responsible.
And as I said before, this is like saying, there's a Rubbermaid container here at the scene of the bomb explosion. Right. Clearly, Walmart is responsible.
Right. Or or the CEO of Rubbermaid, or something. Yeah. And he just happens to be right, and that doesn't feel good to me. I need a guy to be actually clever and he sets up a sting operation or does something interesting.
Well, he did set up a sting operation that got all his friends' stuff stolen.
Right. He does a successful sting operation or whatever.
And it resulted in no arrests, no hard evidence, and resulted in the bad guy actually getting what he wanted. So Mako kind of he's one of our shittiest detectives, but he's a main character, so we're going to have to bring him back as a main detective.
Yeah, I don't even know. Okay, so then Varric is like, hey, by the way, I have a battleship. You have a battleship? Is there some reason we haven't brought this up before? Hey, they've invaded the South.
To be fair, that is actually perfectly in character for Varric to hide the fact that he has a frickin' battleship. True. Someone did. Oh, you never asked.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But
this is the same guy who was hiding inside of a statue of a bear and said, "Why is there no honey inside this bear?"
Yeah. So you have something to do with Varric. It's true. Anyway, so he has a battleship, which at least I would have liked to know, some hint that existed.
Yeah, me too.
You know what? Because it's also named the Julie. You could easily have some ambiguous conversation about Julie is in the West District or something.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know what he meant, and then later, it's the freaking battleship. That would have been cool. And then just like,
If I was Julie, I would have been pretty pissed that he named a battleship after me for the reasons of it's big, cold, and heartless. It's a heartless killing machine like my assistant. Oh, thanks, ass. I only prepare your fucking food.
You know, what would have been...
Enjoy drinking piss for the rest of your life.
It would have been fun if Julie was developed as a character more. I mean, she's interesting just the way she is because as an accessory to Varric, but it wouldn't be neat if she also had a personality too.
Oh, indeed.
But we didn't have time for anything because this show is so short. And they crammed in other things we didn't care about, like the romance angles and stuff.
You could have had this over 3 seasons like The Last Airbender, and that would have been a great show.
I would imagine like actual detective work going on, stuff slowly building up, worldwide conflicts. I have this whole thing in my brain I'll talk about later.
Okay, and I think that's the first part of this two-parter.
Oh, yeah. And now for the second part of the two-parter.
Where they actually go up to the north, and...
No, they don't. South.
They go down to the south. Shut up.
There is no up or down.
Heck, Bolin calls Mako out on this. What the hell? Why are you not doing this? You need to tell Korra what happened.
Yeah.
A wise man once said it's like tearing off a blood-sucking leech.
Yeah.
You can hear the smug radiating off of Bolin.
Yeah.
And it's totally and utterly worth it, honestly, to hear Bolin in a position of utter superiority to Mako.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I will grant that, emotionally compromising the Avatar just before a massive battle, probably not the smartest move in the book.
Right.
And granted, emotionally compromising someone who you just saw dismember a training dummy, again, probably not the smartest move in the book.
Yeah,
but still.
You get some of that there. Well, so they go down to the south with this battleship that, if only the 8 guys had waited for a couple more days, they could have had a battleship. But okay, you had to get moving. So we sail down, and how did we make landfall exactly?
I don't remember.
Did that happen? Because I don't seem to recall them blowing the crap through the blockade. Remember that?
Wait, didn't they take a plane into the flying bison?
But they did that later.
Oh, God, I don't even remember. Oh, you're right. It just went straight from the ship straight to the shore. That would have been interesting or something to see her blowing through the blockade.
Well, the first thing they do is they go see Korra's mom, whom I guess lives, outside the main city, but that's all pretty vague, And then Katara's there, so okay, we gotta see Katara again. And
Yay.
Katara's in the healing hut because they have so many wounded. There are more guys wounded than there were originally in the attack force.
So this can only lead me to speculate that those guys are so incompetent that they were trying to rescue those guys and kept slipping and hitting themselves.
or like...
I was running with scissors!
So I don't know.
There's so many wounded. How are there that many wounded? We saw 8 guys total.
I know. If you're gonna make it, if it's gonna be like more guys are in the battle but they're off screen, imply it better. Like before that happened, the secondary unit is coming in from the south side right about now. Go, and we would at least imagine that there are more guys you didn't have time to animate.
Yeah, do that.
Do that. Yeah.
And wait, why is Katara in the healing tent? She's a master waterbender in all respects. She should be able to walk in, shut down Unalaq on her own, just shove an ice spike through his fucking head. Hell, bloodbend the fucker.
Yeah. Wait, can she bloodbend or he just bloodbended her? I forgot that part.
She can bloodbend.
Okay, there we go.
Heck, bloodbend?
Oh yeah, no, that's different. Whatever, go ahead.
Yeah. Shove an ice spike through his head. And you're Katara. Trust me, the world is going to find you and kick your ass if you kill Katara.
Yeah, okay, the world that he's concerned about is the one that he plans to poem with the power of Vatu. But this whole thing, so what happens next is they come up with a plan. We have to get to the southern portal and get inside so we can stop our monoconvergence. Korra never uses the Avatar state. During this entire battle, and
granted, the battle is extremely impressive. Fight scenes are something that Avatar does really well.
Yeah.
The problem is that you do them stupid instead of
right.
You know what would be awesome? Call upon the ocean spirit, become the ocean Godzilla, and just walk through that and dive into the portal then.
And if that's implausible, it could the writers could deal with that by Unalaq's in the spirit world, messing with spirit things, making it harder for her to do her first strategy, and suddenly she can't be an ocean spirit anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you could do things with that instead of just, I mean, you made it a plot point before when she's air racing, whatever the air ball thing they do.
She's willing to use the Avatar state for stupid, mundane shit.
Right, if she can do it that easily, why doesn't she do it at the most important moment in human history? I mean, she does do it after she gets through the portal, but why not before? It's not like it has a time limit, you know? Yeah. So yeah, they go off an attack, and they got like a plane and an Appa. I forget what the new one's called. You know, the new Appa.
Yeah, it's another Appa. We're
which
not even...
you know, yeah, there was some cool stuff in there. I love the plane flies, but Bolin's on the side of the plane, a biplane. And they fly by some tanks, and he, like, throws stuff on them.
And at first you think, oh, this is just Bolin being stupid and ineffective.
Yeah, he's throwing rocks or something.
And then they start exploding, so you realize, oh, shit, that's like clay wrapped around bombs.
He's throwing bombs. Yeah, like, oh, all right, that's interesting. Thank you. Okay.
That's something new and interesting.
Yeah, some tactics
everyone else
here.
is just using their own element. It's just like,
yeah.
Air, fire, bombs! Bombs, motherfuckers! Bombs!
Yeah.
Gapping, yeah.
That's right. And then, so, basically, they get pwned in their first round eventually. Yeah. And they all get taken prisoner, except for Boomy.
And Boomy has Pabu the fire ferrets, Naga the dog thing, and
a flute.
A flute and a spirit, which doesn't do anything.
So, I don't know.
Okay, Boomy is like my favorite part of the episode, easily.
Nah.
Okay, he tries to sneak in because he learned, oh, I can make these spirits nice by playing music from my flute. So he starts playing the music, and all these spirits are gathered around him. It's working! So then they all attack. It's not working! It's not working!
I did like that moment, like, because it sounded stupid to me at first. Like, is he just gonna walk in and flute the spirits to death? Like, Deus Ex Machina, really, guys? And then it was, never mind! Yeah.
That's for the next part, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like we haven't done Deus Ex Machinas in Avatar before. Energy bending. Korra suddenly getting all her past lives back.
But you know what? I was willing to take energy bending when there had been... Basically, everything was so good, and you were able to take that leap and be like, sure, he ascended to this next level of Avatar dumb, and he had a whole episode with the lion turtle and stuff, and you were like, I'll accept this. This is cool. And it looked freaking cool too, yeah. But yeah, when your foundation is weak, you can't take leaps like that. You know, the audience is going to be like, "But what did you just do with the?" Anyway, so I'm glad it wasn't the Deus Ex Machina I thought it was.
Yeah.
Though he does manage to pwn the entire camp, but he does so in a hilarious way, so that helps.
Oh, it's just great. And then even better, he calls back to his running gag of telling stories that no one believes.
Yeah.
And he's like, all I had was this flute and... Oh, you'll never believe it.
Yeah.
To be honest, if I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't have believed that would have worked as well.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
So,
So then we stand around for a couple... a minute or two talking about going through the portal.
Yeah, you know, because it's not like there's a time limit.
I wanted them to get up and sprint, you know, like for frick's sake, here comes Harmonica. If she had sprinted, she would have finished it in time. She was right.
Yeah. Or heck, seal the entire tree of time in concrete.
Yes, with concrete bending. I guess earth bending.
Lava.
Lava bending. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting, but. They think there was an earlier moment too, before the attack. Of course, says something like, you know, the time for talking is over. We need to act now.
And then they stand around talking and
then they keep
not
talking
acting.
for a little while, and you're like, but you just said, why did you write that if you were going to not just what?
Oh, and they said, oh, take the wounded back to Katara. Why? I could use another meat shield. Heck, you know, I don't care if you all have one hit point left. You still have a gun. You can shoot.
Right. By the way, we forgot to mention Jinora, who's you know, in a comatose state and stuff. Which I kind of like that you saw. What's her name? Other waterbender? No, not the non. Boomy and Tenzen's sister. What's her name?
Kaya.
Kaya. I like that. Like, you know, you just without explanation, you saw her. And Jinora was in a tub, and Kaya's like doing a thing, and you're like, "Oh, because she's comatose." I get that. Like,
yeah,
you know,
so it's
get to keep her alive.
Probably
That's
have
cool.
to change that water every so often.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, we're not going into that.
You know, but anyway, so yeah, well, we get inside the spirit world,
and it still looks like shit.
Well,
the spirit world itself doesn't look like shit. It's just that the area they're in, I
there
really
needs
don't
to be
think
a name for that area.
It just doesn't look pretty.
Which I can get. Okay, it's a battlefield. Okay.
Yeah.
It was scarred forevermore or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we get in, and I guess Janora is not nearby any place. No, they get in, and Tenzin's like, "We'll find Janora," and they run off to the left side of the screen, and I'm like, do you know where she is?
Do you have MapQuest of this place?
You just ran off in a random direction. Like, where is Janora?
Here's the computer terminal. Google Maps. Search for my daughter's disembodied soul.
Oh my gosh, if Google gets that good, we're all in trouble.
Okay, and the next... Go 300 yards, talk to the Spirit Hawk.
Yeah. Okay, so, but yeah, it's really unclear what they're doing at all, or where they're running, and also, so we're gonna go fight Unalaq. Some great fighting. I love, and Korra and Bolin and Mako are all in it at once. I thought it was really cool, throwing up like barriers and stuff.
Oh, indeed.
And Korra's trying to close the portal, which for some reason she needs to do from the inside and not the outside.
Why not close it from the... In fact, yeah, why do you even need to go inside? Just seal it over here.
I guess the idea is Janora, okay, but, when you don't know where Janora is, it was just kind of felt vague, you know what I mean?
Well, you can send them in to find Janora, seal it from the outside, and then they go to the other portal.
That's true. We could go meet them on the Julie. Or something.
Yeah,
eventually.
when the United Republic fleet comes in to kick Unalaq's ass for trying to wipe out the Earth.
The thing about an earlier thing, Korra confronts the president after Varric's goons try to kill him, right? Or they try to make it look like they're trying to kill him. And she says, Mr. President, the Vatu is going to break out at harmonic convergence. He's going to destroy the world. I need your help. And he says, I understand what you're saying. But if the world is going to be thrown into chaos, I need my troops here to protect my people. And I'm going, she didn't say the world would be thrown into chaos. She said it would be destroyed.
Still, think about his world. His world is politics and Republic City.
Right,
he probably doesn't grasp the enormity of the threat that they're under. So his reaction is understandable,
if he thinks,
if stupid.
If he thinks that the world will not actually be destroyed and she's exaggerating, he should say something like that.
Well, yeah, a lot of people exaggerate when they say, the world will be destroyed, it'll be the end of the world.
Yeah, but if the Avatar said it to me, I want a little more like, well, I don't think you're trustworthy or something. You know what I mean? Like, you can't spare like a single ship out of your fleet. It was just vague. How about if there was an actual threat to Republic City? Like, I don't know, the freaking Earth Kingdom wants to invade or something, and we need to defend against that. Then it would be like more obvious. Oh, I see what you're doing here. And if he specifically did not think the world would be destroyed, but rather something else was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff that she could add in and make everything more clear.
But yeah, so
she tries to close the portal from the inside and, fails.
Obviously.
Oh, and Unalaq reveals his master plan earlier. If he's going to become an evil avatar.
He's going to become a dark avatar, which I like. That sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Two individuals born over and over again, destined to fight to the end of time.
Yeah, that could. I don't know. Everything would be more cool if it had a better foundation.
Very Babylonian.
Yeah. Are we talking Babylon 5 or the actual Babylon?
Actual Babylon.
Okay. I haven't seen enough of Babylon.
Ancient and mystic and really just good.
So, but I wasn't clear. Is he actually has a thing about hating Ferris wheels? And I'm always going to phrase it that way. Because he talked about Juan made a mistake when he separated the spirit world from the regular world, and we will merge them together again. And I'm thinking, why? Do you just really prefer efficient use of real estate? Like, what? How is that a deal? Like, if it turns out, like, his dad was a spirit or something, like, he has a personal connection, or you know what I mean? Like,
God, is he Anakin?
No, that'd be interesting. No, okay. Yeah,
but, okay.
You were the chosen one.
Yeah, you're gonna regret a lot of these things after the next 2
But
episodes.
it wasn't clear what his motivation was. If he just
and it remains unclear what his motivation is.
If he just wants power, let's have him just want power. If he has something about spirits and humans living together, then I want to see that from the get-go, and not just freaking Ferris wheels. That's all he ever really commented on. So vague.
what is going on here exactly, and why exactly. I mean, I guess he made a deal with Vaatu, and for some reason trusts Vaatu to not blow up the world, which is Vaatu's MO. We discussed this earlier.
Yeah,
And,
why
maybe
trust him? He's openly stated, I'm gonna fuck up the world. You seem like a trustworthy fellow who I
Right.
can trust to accomplish my goals.
So in my version of events, I've imagined like a version of Unalaq who has this power to draw energy out of dark spirits and use them for himself. And in my version, he wants to use Vaatu like a battery, not to free him, just to gain his power and become super powerful. And then it would make sense. Doesn't matter what Vaatu wants because he has no say in this theoretically. And that's my head. That's what I would like to do if I was writing this. Instead, it's just I'm going to release him and trust that he won't kill me, even though he's totally wanted to kill me and everyone else for the last 10,000 years. Okay. Yeah. And his son was saying like, "Oh, our father is a great man." Wasn't there a whole bit earlier when he was totally willing to sacrifice your life in order to open the northern portal? Did you not get affected by that at all? No, apparently not. Okay.
I won't comment.
Okay, so that will come up later, apparently. But at the
Damn
moment...
it, how can I comment without saying I'm commenting?
It's alright. It's not like this is, such a sublime show that we really need to avoid every spoiler.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, harmonic convergence happens, and... Oh, yeah, and of course, the whole time I'm thinking, why did you open the northern portal? Or, more specifically, why did you go to the spirit world with Jinora in the first place? If you had just stayed home, the northern portal would have forever remained closed, harmonic convergence would have come and gone, Vaatu would have been sealed for 10,000 years, and then you can go kick Unalaq. Right?
Right.
There's absolutely no reason to go to the spirit world when only one of the two portals was open.
Precisely.
And what it should have been is she thought Unalaq had a method of doing it, and actually he didn't, and it was a big trick. But she didn't think that.
No, never even thought of.
It was just, I have to close the southern portal because, I don't know, stuff.
You gotta admit, trapping Unalaq in the spirit world forever has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, that would have been, maybe that'll happen. He won't tell me. Anyway.
No.
So, yeah, we will see. So I guess we're going to go watch the finale now, or I'm going to watch it or something.
Yeah.
And then we'll go review and see how this season turned out.
It doesn't end well.
Oh, great. Okay.
Well, anyways, I know I was kind of quiet, but I'm Sith King.
And I'm Sonic Sons.
And we're signing off.